And good morning from Scotty, Ray, and Candace. It is Thursday morning, October the 8th, and we hope you're doing well.
Yes.
All right, have you listened to the podcast that I also do, Any Secrets from the South?
I have listened to it.
Thumbs up or down?
It was thumbs up all the way. It was really good, and it was just real interesting to me because just some of the things that
Dr. Alan Brown is one of our guests on there this month, and we're talking about ghosts. A month of October, we're going to do the whole thing on that.
Uh-huh. And, I was telling you a little bit about some stuff that's happened in my mother's house, which is, a fairly new house. Nobody but them has ever lived there.
But, as we found out.
But she has furniture from her mother-in-law's, all of her furniture is in their house. Pictures, everything is from her mother-in-law's house. And then her brother, he passed away, and she has his ashes in the house.
So he just hangs out up there, huh?
Yeah, and he was always a jokester and a character. If you'd ever got to meet him, he's hilarious.
Well, give me an example of something that's going on there. Just something
okay, like in the middle of the night, the alarm has gone off, which a lot of people would say, "Oh, well, somebody was trying to break in." Well,
okay, what else?
Okay, they've had a vase that was on the top of a chest of drawers in their room that was pushed all the way against the wall. Now.
Okay.
Just flew off and hit the floor and busted.
Do they have a cat?
No, they have a dog, and no,
he can't get up there.
They don't have a cat. She constantly at one time said she smelled like she'd be laying in the bed at night and it smelled like dirt underneath her nose, like she could just smell just a heavy feeling of dirt, smell of dirt. They had a flash in the middle of the night. She said it looked like somebody had, when you take a picture, like the camera flash.
Yeah. Just
a big flash lit up the whole, like in the living room down the hallway.
Creepy.
And something else. What else happened?
Now you were talking with me about a thing that happened to you in downtown Meridian.
Yes.
And seriously, now we dive into this thing. Can ghosts attach to items?
Yes.
And it's overwhelmingly they're saying, it can just follow you on home.
Well, I never. Now people have passed away that in my family. And I've had dreams about them. I'm talking about vivid dreams where they've spoken to me or stuff, and it's after they've passed away in my dream. So that I've always felt like that was kind of, maybe like they were trying to speak to me.
Yeah, that's a communication way.
In this instance, I've never had anything ghost-wise happen, but my daughter, I had taken her to a dress shop in Meridian, and it was in the
Pigford building.
The Pigford building. And we went in, she tried on a dress upstairs. And right when we got upstairs, she said, "Mama, I don't have any battery." All of a sudden, she said, I had a full battery, and all of a sudden I have no battery on my phone left. And I was like, well, maybe your battery's bad. Okay. Then she gets this dress on. She had a little draft, too. She said, "Oh, it's cold in here." Well, then we were walking. She had her dress on, and she was walking down the stairs. And she said, "Quit stepping on my dress, Mama." And I'm looking at her dress, and I'm like 3 steps up from her. I've not touched her dress. She said, "Quit stepping on my dress. You keep pulling on my dress." I said, "I haven't touched her dress." And I thought, I'm going to kill her before we get out of here because she was a teenager at the time. And so we get downstairs, and she tries on a pair of shoes that the lady at the dress shop had just to see what they look like with the dress. She took her socks and her shoes off and put them under a chair downstairs. I watched her. We went in the dressing room downstairs to try the shoes and the dress and everything on. We come out, and, she's trying the stuff on. And when we got ready to get dressed, I said, "Okay, get your socks and shoes." Well, her socks are gone, missing. And I said, "I know you put them right there. I watched you." And the lady said, "Let me go upstairs and check." I said, "No, she didn't take her socks off upstairs."
Yeah.
She said, "Well, let me just check." And I said, "Okay." So anyway, she comes back. She goes, "No, I don't see them up here." And she comes back down, and we're looking. She goes, "Let me check in this basket in here," which was in the little hallway that the dressing rooms were in downstairs. And I said, "You can check, but her socks were right here under this chair." She pulls her socks out of that basket. They were down underneath hangers in the basket. Okay, at that point, I'm freaking out. I'm saying, "Get your stuff on. We're getting out of here." So we get to the door. She gets dressed. We get to the door, and I reached in my purse to get my keys out, and I'm looking at my keys. I'm not touching them, and all of a sudden the alarm on my car goes off. And I was like, this is weird. We get out to the car, and her battery shoots back up full battery.
So, you kind of a believer now.
It was a weird experience. So then I called back later, and I spoke to somebody at the dress shop. I don't know who I was talking to, and I said, let me just tell you, this has just been on my mind ever since we were in there. I said, this happened, this, it's anything else. She goes, it happens all the time.
Yeah, it did there.
She said, we come in and we find stuff rearranged. We find stuff laying around that looks like people tried it on, just threw it down. And so I do believe that place is haunted. I do.
Check it out.
Stay there?
Yeah, we spent the night there a few years ago. That was back when it was Alexandria Shoes, I believe. And yeah, it's some spooky stuff there. But check it all out. The podcast is secretsfromthesouth.com. Secrets from the South. You can go there and find it, or on Facebook, and listen to it. It's easy to listen to, and it'll talk about ghosts still around.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up, we'll talk more about the hurricane. Plus, also, we'll bring you your headlines and all that's right around the corner with Scotty, Ray, and Candace. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville always has some great deals for you, including, well, let's see what they've got this week. They've got the mandarin oranges, the 2-pound bag for $4.99. Those things really taste good. Also, you can get the green or red seedless grapes for $1.99 a pound. You can move on down for yellow or zucchini squash, $1.99 a pound. You can still get the Idaho potatoes, that 8-pound bag for $3.99, including the Bush pinto beans. You can get A1 steak sauce for $3.99. That's a 10-ounce bottle. You can take advantage of the 57. That's if you're going to be doing some steaks. You'll really like all this. The Heinz 57 for $3.49. Included the Big Mopper paper towels, 89 cents a roll. Handy to have around. Captain Crunch, you can get that for $5, 2 for $5. You can also, let me double check myself here on the ad there. Yep, 2 for $5. I'm looking at it. The T-bone steaks, the family pack certified Angus beef, $8.99 a pound. Included the rump roast for $2.99 a pound. Just real good meat prices this week. And you can get the Oscar Mayer hot dogs, the 16-ounce, 2 for $3. And don't forget that drinking water. You can get the Spring of the Purified Water Pack for $3 for $9. That's a bargain for you. All at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. Drop in and see Joe and the friendly staff there. They'll help you out and get you anything that you might be looking for there in the store with great prices. Again, that's Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville this morning. Well, as all eyes turn to weather this morning, brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. There's lots going on with weather. And again, before I get into this, expect a lot of this to change in between now and when the hurricane comes ashore on Friday. I'll give you what is accurate this morning, and as we'll watch that thing as it will come ashore roughly around Friday, 7 o'clock. It's right there at dark 30 is when it will do. We'll have effect starting that night, and then have some wind and things on Saturday. So let's jump to what the National Weather Service has for us. Again today, what we've got is mostly cloudy in parts of the day, and then becoming sunny with a 30% chance of showers after 4 p.m. It's going to be warm today, 86. We'll dig into that extended forecast to find out when things will cool down again. As we move forward of what we've got, Delta still the only hurricane that is showing up this morning. There's nothing formed behind it at this point. That's good news. The projected path of where it will be going is going to be somewhere near Iowa, Louisiana. We'll go into the detailed forecast map here in just a moment and show you the towns where it will go and how it will affect Mississippi and our area. As we look at the winds, we start seeing that this is starting to come down. We're getting into that 5 to 10 mile an hour range of winds in our area because it's shifted more west, which is great for us as we've been watching that move a little bit further and a little bit further west with each update. As we look at this, the winds on this will start Friday around 8 a.m. and move ashore. And we'll feel a little bit of that here, but not near what they're going to feel to the west of us. As we look at this rainfall totals, our area getting very little out of this. The most of this will be to our west. As we pointed, we were once again really saved by the storm just kind of moving over and over. But we will get a little bit of rain, but not near what could have happened. As we look at the potential for flash flooding, that's going to be somewhere just east of Vicksburg there. As we look at that line back westward, we'll get some showers, but nothing like is going to happen over near the Mississippi River. as we go forward to this. And the temperatures over the next 10 days, we start seeing it come back to pretty much a cool down to where we'd been getting warmer. And I would say that the storm has a lot to do with this, bringing some cooler weather to us. As we move forward, potential for storms today are going to lie south of Clark County, so that's good for us. The coastal area where they're having crews on the coast could get some wet stuff later today, so that's where that is. All right, let's switch to radar this morning and pull up with what's going on with the National Weather Service, and let's go into my radar and show you what we've got here. As we pull this up, we see that it is located out here this morning at 4 a.m., just a little bit ago, as a category Cat 2, running at 98 miles an hour. Now, it will increase later today to a 3 to at least 100, by tomorrow to 115 miles an hour. When it comes ashore Friday, it should be sometime during the afternoon hours there in the afternoon. Most likely will be a 104 miles an hour strike with 127 mile an hour gust. As you look at this, Lake Charles, who has already been hit, is going to get the brunt of the storm. The eye of this will come in. After you get off that bridge, Iowa, Louisiana is right here in between Welsh and Jennings. I always buy gas right there at the little store there when I'm traveling through there, headed on 10. So Lake Charles will get a brunt of this storm. So keep these folks in their prayers. They have not recovered from the last storm that come through there, and it's going to be horrible once again. This whole area, if you look at the eye of this, it goes from New Iberia just west of Baton Rouge back over to Beaumont. Lake Charles, pretty much in the dead center of it. Lafayette's going to get some of it. It gets interesting here as it gets past Baton Rouge and Alexandria. That's when it starts to turn and come into the state of Mississippi. Now, the Jackson area will get a lot more winds than we will. This is where we are here. This is Newton County. This is Scott County, about half the county in that cone. Newton County and Lauderdale County is out of the cone now, splitting up here through Kemper County. This cone, as it comes across to Cab, the line westward, Philadelphia is still in that. But even so, as you'll look at this, let me turn this on, we can show this. Our rain chances lie to the west of this. The flash flood area is all to the west of the Meridian area, so that is good. Brandon, this area here is kind of the line back toward Vicksburg, and south of Vicksburg has a little bit higher chance where they have tropical storm watches in those areas. But our area is going to get some rain. We're going to get a little wind, but not near what's going to happen back over here south of Vicksburg. So we had that shifted just a little bit, we would be all up in this. But so we're good at this moment. Now keep in mind, we are this thing still has 24 hours to change direction, and it will change a little bit. It's going to go east or west a little bit more, always does before landfall. Let's hope it stays a little bit to the west there. Not wishing any bad luck on anybody. I'm just saying in our area, it is best for it to stay westward to keep the heavier winds and things away from our area. This will cut on up and still go just south of Nashville, and then eventually make its way toward the Nashville-Murfreesboro area. So as bad as the situation is, Lauderdale County, Clark County, really in the good. Newton County, not anything bad, but that is part of it in that cone. A little bit of rain there. Philadelphia is going to get some rain, but again, it's going to be the Mississippi Delta down southward and then south of Vicksburg in the state of Mississippi that gets the brunt of the storm at this point. There will be plenty of updates coming with this storm as it comes across. So throughout the day, as things develop and happen, at one point they were saying this could be a Category 5. It doesn't look like it at this point. It will gain to a 3, and then right before landfall, drop to a Category 2. So keep our fingers crossed. Keep your prayers for those folks in Lake Charles, Louisiana, all of that Louisiana area that has already been pounded by, was it Sally? I forget these storms that happened so quick. I believe that's who it was that came ashore there. So that's an update on it. I'll come back in just a little bit and give you your update on your extended forecast of what to expect as we watch Hurricane Delta near the coast coming out of the Gulf, and we'll be having more on that here in just a little while.
During these challenging times, there are some things that you can count on every day. One of them is that Rick Justice Automotive will work hard to help you find just the right vehicle. Rick Justice has late model, low mileage vehicles and 72-month, 72,000-mile warranties available on all vehicles. Come see us today, and we'll show you how we've been helping your friends and relatives find the car, truck, or SUV that was right for them. We will earn your business.
And welcome back with Scotty, Ray, and Candace as we roll. She's been trying to scare me. That's all I can say. Spook stuff.
No, I don't like scary movies.
Movies are very, I as a kid had to watch through my fingers and all. But I did tell you one that if you've never seen it, that is sort of like a mystery kind of ghost thing, was Denzel Washington, Fallen.
Yeah, I'd probably like that.
Now, it's 20-something years old, but it is a great show.
I've never seen it, but you said it's kind of action, mystery.
Yeah.
You know, I'd probably like that. But
And a little spook mixed in with it.
Everybody's getting killed and knifed and shot.
Well, this is
I don't
one
like
of
all
those
that.
where it kind of takes over you.
Yeah. That'd be neat to watch. But if y'all ever go on one of these haunting trip things,
They are fun.
I want to go, but I told you, I said I'd probably bring something home with me. I'd probably bring one of the spook things home with me.
Look what followed me home.
Yeah.
Well, as we begin today, we hope your day is going well. Again, we'll keep track of the weather throughout the day. Now, some breaking news that has happened that, well, I guess isn't really breaking because other networks won't talk about it. Not a lot of networks, but they're really getting deep on this deal going back on President Trump with Hillary Clinton. They now have evidence that Obama knew about it, that what she was going to do.
Yeah.
Notes on it all.
Oh, yeah, and she financed the dossier for all that. They have proof. I mean, it is a thing. And,
Yeah.
of course, they're not wanting to talk about it right now because,
the
Biden
election.
was the vice president, and he knew about it. Obama knew about it. And the FBI, everybody knew about it. So they say it's the biggest thing since Watergate.
This is, if you've ever heard of a coup, this was it. It was to overthrow the president of the United States. And, he's been saying it for the longest.
Oh, yeah.
And you wonder why the man yells at people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was saying it from the get-go. This is a lie. And they just kept trying to pin it on him. But she was trying to focus everybody on that to get their attention taken away from her email controversy.
But you look at the lives that have been destroyed by what they've done, the Flynn and all the others that they tried to send to jail, and they lost everything they had trying to fight them in court over this stuff. And they were tricked.
Yeah.
It's wrong. This should never happen. And it can happen to a Democrat. It can happen to an independent. This is not right. The Constitution is against all of this, and there's people that think they're above the law, and it's got to come to an end.
Yeah, it does. And, Trump has unclassified all of this information, so it can be put out there. And I hope, with it being
Somebody
this
will
close,
pick it up.
Yeah, I'm hoping with it this close to the election that they will pick it up because, you're looking at somebody who's running for president of the United States and who knew about this.
Yeah.
And, I know he's kind of saying now if Trump still tests positive, which we all know even after you get well, you can test positive.
Absolutely, you can.
And so he's saying if he still tests positive, I don't think we should even have another debate. But of
and
course.
that's next week, supposedly in Miami, isn't it? Okay, well, we'll watch that and see where that heads to. But that's very disturbing. It's been said, but when you finally have proof, and then Comey's trying to back out and go, whoa, I wouldn't have issued those warrants had I known that. He was probably in on it, too. We don't know that. That's just a...
it's a scary thing because for all of this mess to just be out there, and we know it happened now, and it's just like a slow-moving train, like trying to get somebody prosecuted for stuff like
4
this.
years and nothing's happened.
Right, and but if it had been somebody...
on the other side,
if it
they
had been
would have...
Trump, actually, who done... they were trying to nail him to the wall.
Yeah, by any means necessary.
So.
This is, and again, this is the United States. This is not some third world country. That's not supposed to happen.
Right.
So, whew. Well, as we turn to some news stories this morning, this is just unbelievable. You ever done anything bad to one of your friends and they get mad at you and want to get back at you?
Well, I wasn't that type friend, so
Well,
no.
this story is kind of along those lines. This was in Pennsylvania. Let's say that you were toting some drugs that were worth a whole lot of money, and the cops bust you, and they don't make a headline out of it, and your best friend doesn't know that they're missing. Well, what do you do in a situation like that? Well, the first thing you do, I guess, is, go kidnap their grandparents. And go, if you don't give me back my $3 million or the cocaine, I'm going to kill
Grandma
them.
and Grandpa is gone.
And they took them to Canada. And they made a phone call with a cell phone and busted them. And they surrounded the place and got Grandma and Grandpa back.
Well, I'm glad.
But that's a miracle that they made it, because that was a lot of money. And, you know, people that deal in that kind of shady business, you usually don't come back.
That's right. They don't usually even give you the light of day, you know,
Yeah.
the chance to do stuff like that. I've just...
And one of the things, you remember that movie years ago called Proof of Life? You know,
I've heard of it, but, you know...
And they sent a Proof of Life picture.
Yeah, y'all probably think I ain't never watched a movie in my life, because everything Scotty Ray brings up, I'm like, I've heard of it, but I have not seen it.
We see the problem is, folks, she lives right there in the northern part of Lauderdale County to where they don't have cable.
Oh, I got cable.
Really?
I just ain't got time to watch it.
I didn't think y'all had cable out there.
Yeah, we have it. I know. I'm surprised, because there's a lot of people that can't get it around us. But
Wow.
We
You
got
have moved
cable.
up in the world. And you brought this up, and you called it a few weeks back, and I'm glad this is happening. Netflix is being indicted in the state of Texas over that movie or series Cuties.
yeah, it's. I mean, it should be indicted, because that is just like child. I mean, it's like...
I didn't even put the definition on the screen, because the definition of what they're being charged is so strong about looking at children, and that was bad.
Well, yeah, and we got so many crazies in this world anyway who just are predators, and this is just giving them, like, just feeding them, you know?
I can't understand why a major network like Netflix would even consider a production company. Maybe that's a better word for
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it's all about money, I'm sure. You know, anybody will do anything for money, and it doesn't matter what they have to sacrifice.
There are,
Okay.
and write this down, there are very few people, when it comes down to the end, when it comes to money or doing the right thing, that will choose the right path. There are some still out there in this world, but there's a whole past full of people that'll turn and choose that money over doing right in life.
That's right. But
And,
it'll come back to bite them,
it will.
obviously, in the end. So,
Ooh, boy. All right, as we walk around, you told me you were going shopping just the other day.
yeah,
And
that was a sad experience, but...
Well, you can't try on any clothes. I learned that.
Yeah, you can't try them on, and I don't know. I don't like the styles that are out there.
Are you a bell-bottom type girl?
No, I wear kind of, not the big bell-bottom pants. I'm just short, though. I don't look good with bell-bottoms. I look like I'm sweeping the floor.
How tall are you?
I'm like 5'4".
Oh, I know a lot of people a lot shorter than you.
But I don't think bell-bottom looking pants look good on real short people. It doesn't. I mean, it just looks like...
I just never liked bell-bottoms. You know, I picked one style and wear it for 30 years.
I like a boot-cut pant, boot-cut jeans,
they do
you
look
know.
good.
But anyway.
Hey, which you brought up that, and I guess they would be sued today, and it's a wonder they're not sued because of what they done during the 70s. Do you remember that song, Short People?
Yeah, I do.
You know, how have they not been sued in
I know.
the Me Too movement?
Give them time. They'll go
They've
back.
forgotten
and
about
sue
it,
'em.
haven't
Yeah. You brought it up. Now they're going to be looking, to sue 'em.
But this is the latest fashion that I was talking about. Dresses that have the face mask already built in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the dress had anything to do with it. Maybe it's just the way the model looked.
Yeah,
I
maybe
didn't
so.
notice that until you pointed it out.
This looks like Chrissy from Three's Company.
It does.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a Bob Seger song, Pointing Sitting Way Up High. Remember that song? Working on a night moon.
Oh yeah, I do. But it's a cute, like, it looks like a turtleneck pulled up over her face. But it's a cute idea that it's built into the dress. But now not everybody can wear that.
If nothing else, it makes a great screensaver at work.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it does. But yeah, not everybody can wear that, even though some people think they can.
Yeah,
and they do try to get in and wear that.
It's
That's
kinda
a
like the
moving
beach.
violation.
A lot of people think they should wear skimpy things at
Right.
the beach when you shouldn't. And men, too, included in that. I'm not just singling out women. There's some guys that
I know.
really...
Yeah, you can see all kind of things at the beach for sure.
That's what I hear. As we look at the next story, you know, it's always good to finally hear a good ending to a story of the bad guy being caught. And we've got that for you here. This happened in California. They caught the guy. He's been on the run for a year using fake names, fake credit cards, killed his wife and son about a year ago. And he's been living on the run ever since, and they busted him.
Well, I'm glad they did. That's
He
awful.
ran out the back door and jumped across a bunch of roofs, and it was like a chase scene in the movies, and they
Yeah.
got him.
He looks like they dragged him.
Yeah, them old knees are tore up there.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah, and
Oh, wow.
he deserved all of that.
He did.
And then this is the thing to where, well, you've been married a while, and she really gets on your nerves. It reminds me of the first season of Fargo, where he just had enough, and he said,
Yeah.
this happened in
Don't give Kurt no
Pennsylvania.
ideas.
He'd come after you. But this gentleman decided that, well, he was sort of sick of his wife. He'd been having these rounds with her and said some ugly things to her, and he put fishing line at the top of the staircase going to the basement where she would trip and fall. Well, she found it, called police, and they have arrested him, and to the pokey he goes. I mean, how bad can your marriage be? You want to kill her like that?
Some people are just crazy.
I guess he had in his mind that he would go back and untie that after he came home and picked her body
wouldn't
up.
that be something if he'd have been the one to forget
Karma
it was there? And,
can come back and get you from time to time.
It's got a bad bite, for sure.
And in sad news, boy, this has been a roll of stars and people that you knew from years ago passing away. We have another. And this was, you remember the song? I Can See Clearly. I can't sing, but Johnny Nash. Can you sing? Because I can't.
Look, I can try to sing.
You're better than me is what you're telling me.
But I do remember that song. I've always liked that song.
I was highly encouraged in church not to ever participate in Christmas caroling.
Really?
Yes.
Are you like the Barney episode, the Mayberry episode where they cut Barney's mic off finally?
I was awful.
They got that guy back there singing for him, and he thinks he is just doing a wonderful job.
Everything that I was ever given in church, and I learned that about 8 years old that I should never do it because I always got the talking parts every time.
Well, I'll have to remind you of an incident where I was in a singing competition years ago that you probably don't remember, but you were there.
Uh-oh.
It's very funny.
Did you get in one of my competitions?
Yeah, I was in it.
Really?
I was a nervous wreck. I thought I was going to pass out. I was burning up hot. I'd never done anything like that before.
What year was that?
I don't even remember the year. It's been...
Because we did a lot of those, and they were
It was
fun.
in the mall.
Yeah, we did.
I sung a Martina McBride song. But it was very... No, it wasn't that song.
Because everybody sang that.
No, it wasn't that. But it was so funny, though. I laughed because when I was moving, trying to sing, I was like, you know how you do your feet, when you sing? I looked like I was literally like stomping on something. I was so nervous. I was going so fast with my feet. And I thought, I bet they think I am a nut up here. But I bet you don't remember that.
I don't. I did not realize that. I have to go back and dig through some pictures and see if I can find you.
Yeah, I was so nervous. But I do like to sing.
Well, I didn't know all that.
I'm glad you didn't remember.
And I don't know if you know this one, but you know how songs is, it has really become one of my favorite songs. Alan Jackson is like my hero. Marty Gamlin, of course, lives in Philadelphia. Alan is such a nice guy, but have you got his gospel CD that he done for his mama?
No.
Look, it is incredible. If you don't own that, get it. How great they are.
Oh, really?
My gosh.
See, I love that song, and me and my son sing that a lot in the car.
My favorite, though.
He loves to. We sing together all the time.
Amazing Grace. He does Amazing Grace like I have never heard it before. You got to. I mean, it'd bring a tear to a glass eye.
I love listening to the old gospel stuff. So.
Okay. Well, that's it. Coming up, we'll recap all the weather for you and let you know exactly what's going to go on today. And join us tomorrow morning. We'll be back with more. And as always, we'll break in throughout the day to keep you track with the weather or any breaking news that happens. All right here with Scotty, Ray, and Candace. Well, the lights are back on this morning out at Freeman Tractor. If you hadn't been in a while, drop in and visit with some old friends. They have a lot going on there. On top of all the lawnmowers that they carry, from the Skags to the X-Marks, if you're needing a part, they've got that for you. From lawnmower blades to belts to bolts. If you're needing a radiator for your tractor, maybe something along those lines, you've got a part that you can't get, hydraulic line, they've got all of that for you. Drop in and visit with them, have a seat at the counter, and you'll probably learn something that's going on in the community. Maybe a little politics. Yeah, that's always something going on. Always a conversation that you'll enjoy out at Freeman Tractor. See them today for parts and anything else. As I mentioned before, they've got a new shipment of tractors in the last 3 to 4 days. Maybe it's been a week. If you're looking for a cab air conditioner, they've got those in that LS line, 4-wheel drives with the buckets. And then after you get the tractor that you're looking for, no matter the size or horsepower, you can move on over and check out all the different equipment. Galvanized, what a way to go there where it won't rust. You'll really like that. From 5 foot, 6 foot to bat wing, all the way over to getting yourself a new disc. Maybe yours has just had it. They've got those with box blades, and forks. That right there is probably one of the handiest things you can ever own on a tractor, being able to pick up things. Shoot houses, boy, that slides right under them and picks them up where you don't have to grunt and strain. And, of course, hay forks, all those things. And of course, they've got the Benchy, where you can get 0% for 60 months on a Warrior 1000. This is the largest one made there, and you can get air conditioning and heating with this for those winter months when it is bitter cold and you don't want to ride out there, feed cows, or go check on your timberland. You can do it with heat and air. That's the way to do it now. And of course, they have different styles and other ones to choose from, the 550 and tan, or you can get it in the dark green, or you can get a racing or white. Whichever color you're looking for, it's all there for you. The Benchy at Freeman Tractor. Drop in and see Steve or Keith today. They'll certainly take care of you and help you out in any way they can. Well, as we turn back to weather this morning, let's go back over here. Let me find something real quick and pull up from the National Weather Services. Because they've updated their information this morning. We'll just show this straight from the National Weather Service as we pull this up. What they're giving us for winds Friday evening until Saturday, they're putting the Meridian area, Philadelphia, and also Clark County under a 1, which is a limited threat, which is sustained winds of 20 to 25 miles an hour. You can have gusts of 30 to 40. Again, this is that line where I was talking about earlier here at Jackson, Mississippi, back. That's going to be really rough weather for them, as they will get sustained winds of up to 45 miles an hour, and that's a steady wind where we could get 20 to 25 from time to time. I don't think that's going to happen at this point if it stays the route that it's going. And then back toward Natchez is where it's elevated. That's where it's real nasty, and it wouldn't have taken much for that to have shifted over and for us to be in that area. As we look at the flooding, the Lauderdale County and Clark County pretty much out of it, and half of Kemper County. There is a chance there of Philadelphia and Newton County of getting more rain. But as you go back to Vicksburg and westward toward the eye of that storm is where you jump into that elevated. We could get 2 to 4. I don't see that in our forecast here locally for our area right in here, taking in Newton, Neshoba, on down into Clark and Jasper. I just don't see it in the forecast, and we'll go over that in just a moment. The possibility of tornadoes, they put us into a 1 category from Friday night through Saturday morning, and it doesn't mention that Saturday afternoon. This will go through Saturday morning, so when it comes ashore is the opportunity for tornadoes to spin off and be in our areas. And I'll be here all throughout the night hours should something happen to walk you through that. But that's where that is this morning, as what the National Weather Service is telling us. All right, let's go over here and take a look at our forecast first. Let me turn off the tropical where we can see what's going on here in the Meridian area, and then we'll go back and touch base on the storm once again. As we pull this up, this is our 7-day forecast of what we've got. 84-ish today for a high, 30% chance of rain increasing to 70% tomorrow, 80% chance on Saturday, and then dropping to a 30%, and then just it'll be rain chances next week is what we have on that. The actual forecast from the National Weather Service as we go into Friday, let's look at what they actually say for the Meridian area. We've got that 70% chance of showers, and it'll be mainly after 1 o'clock, high of somewhere around 81. We'll have a west-southeast wind, east-southeast wind from 5 to 10 miles an hour. That's far different from the whole enchilada there being forecast of 20. So we got 5 to 10, and rain a tenth of an inch. So that's not a lot of rain of what they're predicting. When we move into Friday night, 60% chance of rain with thunderstorms. And that'll most likely be after 1 a.m. Now, we'll have a wind from 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts of 20. This is after this thing has come ashore and is getting closer to our area. Still, that's not bad. All that real bad weather is going to be to the west of us. Rainfall up to a half an inch. So that's not, again, a lot of rain there either. As we look at Saturday morning, we get an 80% chance of showers, possible thunderstorms after 1 o'clock. High of 82. We'll have a southwest wind from 10 to 15 with gusts of 25 miles an hour, and then have half an inch rain possible. So, over the course of it, we may have in our forecast about possibility of 2 inches total out of that from the time it starts till it ends. Again, out to our west is going to be the worst case scenario. Let's look at this before I turn back on. This is, if you'll look at this map here, these different colors are the different watches and warnings that out. As you get over near Jackson, let's look at, they have a flash flood watch. As you move down, let's move down here. South of Hattiesburg, this is the very corner of Mississippi. They have a tropical storm watch. Again, this is Dillon, Mississippi, out to the west of there. Then you get over into Baton Rouge. You've got tropical storm warnings and flash flood warnings, and then you get near Lafayette, you have a hurricane warning. So it's coming up right here by Iowa, near Lake Charles. Right through here is where it will come, and then this leaves us open where we're going to get some rain and a little bit of wind, but it's not going to be horrible at all. You could from time to time. Our biggest chance is probably going to be losing some power from limbs, some swaying. But again, I keep stressing that westward movement of what's going on with this. Let's turn this back on. Let's look at where the Hurricane Hunter has gone. This is the plane that has been flying around. It's flown the path there, and it's not showing a whole lot this morning. That's where it is right now in flight, and it'll turn around and go back out. Let's turn that back off and then go back in to where this is. If you missed it earlier where we are, this is going to come in as a 2 with 104 miles an hour with gust of 127, and then move in. If you look at Lake Charles sitting right here, this is where it's going, that little town near Iowa before you get into Lake Charles. Jennings and Lafayette back over here. Scott, Louisiana sits about right here. It will come in, go through Alexandria, turn. The cone does take in Jackson and part of Kemper County and most of Neshoba County there. Yeah, there's a little bit of area out of that, but the rain will all, heavy stuff will lie out to the west there. And that's a quick look at what's going on this morning. This is going to change a little bit. It'll either go a little bit more west, it'll go a little bit more east, and that cone will go back and forth. We'll watch this closely and give you updates throughout it. Our biggest chance of tornadoes will be Friday night into early Saturday morning. I'll be on top of that for you as well. So we got plenty of time. We'll keep you up to date with the very latest when it comes to all this. And a big thank you for watching this morning. I do appreciate that. We'll have more coming up right here at Scotty Ray's Weather.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by